guys so you can take the Disney and stick it up your... Alright, hello and welcome to Star Wars. Today, as you can see, I'm not only using my rock and roll microphone, but I'm also a little groggy and hungover from my post-Star Wars drinking last night. That's right, I went to see it in theaters. I only go to theaters? Yeah. Aren't you like claustrophobic, germaphobe? Of course I am. But it's Star Wars, and it's time to party. Two-shot. It's getting smarter. What did I think about Star Wars? Oh boy. I gotta be careful, because there are like 300 million people walking around with internet laser blasters right now. They're gonna assassinate me if I say anything positive about this. Or vice versa. I enjoyed it. I watched it. I actually liked it. Okay, let's start with some problems here. Let's get them out of the way. Was it perfect? Of course not. Okay, the Emperor. Okay, the backstory. Where did he come from? How did he survive? What did he say? Unnatural. Some things are unnatural. Just a quote from the best scene in episode 3.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
At the end, remember, spoiler alert. Like, we're talking about spoiler alerts here, so you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't seen it and you're watching this video, which is, what, 20 people? Because nobody watches my channel. Then don't watch. But to kill the Emperor like she did with the lightsaber, then someone said Mace Windu couldn't do it. Well, come on. First of all, Mace Windu got harassed by Anakin. Anakin jumped in because Palpatine was going, "Help me! Help me, Anakin, do it, do it." There needs to be a song. Just do it, just do it. Take a couple lightsabers and do it. That's pretty much yeah. That would have been a great song, but we'll probably do it. Shia LaBeouf should have been in this movie.
I'm disappointed every time.
He should have came out and just been like, "Do it!" That would have been great. No, I felt it was dark. It was pretty intense throughout. Like, there was lots of action. I had a bit of a problem with a bit of the corny dialogue, like some of the one-liners. Just too many. Some of those are okay, you know, but this might be one of the problem why the characters, right? Like, some people said they didn't care for the characters. I guess you get better the story arc, and I'm so sick of this trending thing about the Mary Sue. Like, clearly we understood there'd be a reason behind why she is the way she is. You know, I had this sort of a theory how it seems that whenever she experiences something, she seems to be able to learn it. Like, she has some kind of copycat-like ability in a new force. I thought that would be like a cool story direction to take, but that was, you know, just my own idea, and clearly I didn't get that message across to Ryan or JJ. You know what, man, like, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Star Wars A New Hope were made in a time long before the internet. If those came out now, they'd still do really well, but you'd have people mentioning plot holes. They'd talk about The Empire Strikes Back like in Family Guy, like why they tried to escape in this one direction right in the line of Star Destroyers when they literally could have gone millions of other directions.
We're evacuating into outer space with literally infinite directions in which to flee. However, we have decided that our transports will travel directly toward the fleet of Star Destroyers. Any questions?
Yeah, is there someone from the military we can talk to? A man, perhaps?
And, I'm looking for other plot holes in that movie. That's a pretty fucking awesome movie other than that part. All those fighters being rounded up by Lando Calrissian and Chewbacca in that amount of time.
You want to know why you should keep plenty of Colt 45 on hand? You never know when friends might show up.
I mean, obviously that was a little bit, you know, for fans to say, hey, look, now we can put 800,000 ships in one scene, finally. Some people keep saying about meaningless parts, like the skipping lights, the light speed thing. Is that the same as, I had a bit of a problem with that little drafting part there. Did I say that right? That part where the Poe's X-Wing fighter in episode 8 goes... Yeah, people are saying like it's defying logic and the rules of space that are set before. Well, the light speed skipping idea, that was cool. It was like something that people never talked about because it was this risky, probably amateur thing, but let's do it.
Another scene I wanted to complain about is that whole part about light speed skipping.
You know, without precise calculations, we're going to bounce too close to a supernova or fly right into a star. Leia's death. Well, you know, she was communicating through the Force, and it just drew a lot of power out of her. She was getting old. You know, that's what happens. You get old. I had this feeling like Baby Yoda was going to make an appearance because we saw those weird little beings that looked like off-breed cousins of Yoda on the planet of... What was that planet again? All I know is the one planet that really sticks out was Kijiji. I was like, are they really going there? And why are there no jokes or memes about this? That girl there, the conversations between her and... Poe, it was okay. I mean, the backstories. Now he was a smuggler all of a sudden. But once again, like, I don't mind some comedy and some jokes and one-liners once in a while, but they should slow it down a bit more. Make it a bit more serious, you know, like...
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?
What you talking about, Willis?
I think everything moves. Like, I like the idea that Kylo's walking around these Knights of Ren and they're trying to find Rey, and I like the communication. The what do they say? I bridged your minds or whatever. That was Snoke, of course. He explained that in episode 8, but now we find out that Snoke was merely controlled by the Emperor. Back to Rey and the end, how people were saying that Mace Windu couldn't do it or Yoda. Well, they only had one lightsaber. She had two. She crossed them like in Return of the Jedi. It was symbolic or something. Someone said that here. We got any comments we can read? Can we read some comments? Disregard all 110 reviews. You know, there's mostly... The Last Jedi had a really high ratio in favor of... The percentage was higher in favor of the critics as opposed to the fans, right? You know what? The way they took a turn, like the bold approach there, I like the movie. I wish we could have seen Luke do more action-like things, but it's a different story. It's a different path. People saying Luke's got to go kick ass. Well, if Luke goes and kicks ass, then where does that leave us for episode 9? What is he supposed to do? And I still think that ending was really cool with Luke doing the hologram trick. That was awesome.
See you around, kid.
Wasn't that cool? That was cool. And him being an old depressed hermit, I mean, that's just what happened. Obi-Wan did it. Yoda did it. They all follow that path. The Force lighting up into the sky, I mean, that one friend of mine was saying that was a little excessive. I mean, I figure you're getting to a point. That's what happens when you get into sequels. I just watched Last Action Hero starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the kid talks about how in the sequels, everything's always more intense. Or Scream 2, the body count is always higher. I mean, that's just what happens. There's no avoiding it. I enjoyed the movie throughout. I like Rey at the end. She's a Skywalker. And the scene with Luke getting the X-Wing fighter out. Yeah, the Yoda music and everything. Great. There could have been more with the Knights of Ren. They should have developed them a little bit more. I wasn't sure about that ship that flew away with Chewbacca after it blew up. Then all of a sudden they're still alive. Like, clearly there was another ship, or was it some kind of Force illusion? Obviously, we need a few more explanations. But you know what? What about the X-Files? I mean... In that show, there are all kinds of mysteries that still... There's probably more questions at the end of episodes. It's like watching The Matrix Revolutions. But still, I mean, not everything has to have an explanation. Maz and the lightsaber. Okay, and someone was talking about the lightsaber being blue, supposed to be green. No, it wasn't, because that was his first lightsaber, the Obi-Wan lightsaber that Obi-Wan got from Anakin after he defeated him despite Anakin having the high ground.